Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I want to get all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the balance of our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes great gospel and sincerity and truth. This is your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the Great Millstone, Indianapolis camp, coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord willing be edifying. Got an article here from the valleyfoodstorage.com, and it reads, food shortages coming in 2023. Will food prices go down in 2023? Which just came out June 23rd, so almost a month ago. June 23rd, 2023, the hopeful year that all these prophecies come to pass. And it reads, if you're not already stocking your pantry with emergency food supplies, it's time to do so. The World Foods Program Executive Director David Beasley said during the Security Council meeting on May 19, 2022, that he fears food shortages might be coming in 2023 because of the war on Ukraine, with bad weather also adding to the problem. He stressed that over the past 2 years, there have been a number of food crises around the world, and due to the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the situation around the world is likely to get worse. He said preparing for potential food shortage in 2023. As the possibility of food shortage coming soon grows, the importance of being prepared for such an event becomes increasingly clear. By taking action now, families can ensure they have the necessary supplies to stay self-reliant and independent even in times of crisis. While the food shortage we faced in 2021-2022 was something we never expected, there are steps we can take now to prevent a similar problem in the future, which, of course, to be optimistic, you would say one thing, but for ones who understand prophecy, there is no way that you can stop famines and shortages from coming to pass, because they are part of what? The prophecies of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. These things were, ultimately, as the scriptures say, when it speaks about Matthew 24, that, there's going to be famines, pestilence, so forth and so on. Those things are part of what? The end times, so to speak. So when we're drawing nigh to the end towards the salvation of the hopeful elect and the destruction to, the 2/3 and these heathens, these famines are a part of the playbook, so to speak, to come to pass. So there's nothing you can do to stop it. In the future, it's gonna continue to increase. And then, and also in the future, what? Then you're gonna have to receive that MOTB to be able to buy or sell anything, anyway, whatever's present for you to buy within the shortages, right? But that's a lesson for another time. To say this article will list the food items that are predicted to see a shortage, and the easiest ways to store these foods so they last as long as possible. So it says our food prices going down in 2023. Prices are going to be on the rise due to increasing global demand. With inflation, supply chain bottlenecks, extreme weather conditions, transport issues, and war conflicts in Russia and Ukraine, there will be a significant chance that prices will increase for most products in 2023. Furthermore, food shortages are likely to hit again in 2023, right? And, we can already go ahead and, as being visionaries, we know it's going to be more of them increase, if we make it to the year 2024, it's going to continue to increase as far as the shortages. It says food shortages are unavoidable. See, it says in 2022, right, unavoidable by the prophecies of Yahweh Bashem El Shai. In 2022, we had a severe food shortage here in the United States of America. This food shortage was due to a series of unfortunate events that stripped our country of its necessary resources. And now the Russo-Ukrainian war is threatening to cause food shortages in 2023. The war began in 2014 and has been going on for more than 8 years. Beasley spoke during a Security Council meeting about the coming food shortages. We're now experiencing an unprecedented food crisis, he warned. Pricing has become our biggest concern due to all the crown storms, but by 2023 it will be a food availability a problem. And of course, this, are we not in that year? So we can expect, even more shortages when the seasons start to change and get colder as well. It says Beasley states that the conflict affects many aspects of Ukraine's life, including agriculture. Because of this, the number of people in the world living in severe food insecurity has increased from 276 million to 345 million since Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, 2022. Beasley also raised the alarm in his recent tweet that there could be a lot of people going hungry if peace isn't reached soon. When a country like Ukraine, which grows enough food for 400 million people, becomes unavailable on the market, Beasley says it creates a market volatility that we're now seeing. I think that's how you say that. But say, according to many reports, the current situation with food supplies is, in fact, already dire. The WFP predicts that by 2023, there will be a shortage of wheat and corn, which are two staple products in the food supply chain. The reports also estimate that these global food shortages will increase food prices and could even trigger a new global recession. Hence, that's why they want to do the whole little global reset and, the dollar's being, de-dollarized, so to speak, losing its value, this and that. And they trying to move over to that, that digital form with the CBDCs, with that CHIP, so to speak. They're gonna move into that. All things point to that. But it says, is there a way to tackle the 2023 food shortages? Supply chain disruptions have contributed to various food and product storage shortages over the past few years. In addressing these issues, it's essential to mitigate the impact of food shortages on the global population. By staying informed about ongoing and potential food shortages, you can adjust your food storage plan accordingly and maintain a diverse and nutritious stockpile. Now, the main people who will be doing something like this, who's making sense of doing something like this, will ultimately be who the Edomites, right? Because, we get credit when it's due. Like, the scripture speaks about that the children of this world are wiser than the children of light in their generations, roughly paraphrasing, meaning, these heathens, primarily Esau, Edom, man, they be knowing, they be like, man, they see the things that's going on. They see the stuff that's not right, what's changing, this and that, but who don't be paying attention to it? And I ain't gonna say none, but majority of the Israelites, Jakes, don't give a they not paying attention to that. All they want to do is party and bullshit and, watch the next celebrity's relationship, somebody cut their hair, did this, these shoes come out, this and that, whatever. Madness, they're not paying attention. But these heathens, they see what's going on, so the only main people that's going to be maintaining or some type of stockpile is going to be Edomites. And I done had, pretty much, actually, and some brothers may, and even sisters may, how can I put it? Pretty much I had the same experiences where you be at the plantation and then Esau just start talking about, man, it's bad around here and, the food and all this and that. And I've been storing up stuff. I got non-perishables. Jake, majority of the Jakes here ain't talking about none of that. They don't even know what a non-perishable is. But Esau, they be A's, but they know there's something coming to this country. The thing is, some of these people think that they can stop it and they can't. It says, what affects U.S. food supply chain, the Russo-Ukrainian war, and more? The United States is a very self-reliant country when it comes to food. We produce a lot of our own food domestically and don't rely much on other countries to feed ourselves. Only about 50% of the country's overall food is imported from abroad. However, this self-reliance can be a double-edged sword. It's great that we don't have to rely on other countries to feed ourselves, but it becomes problematic when we can't produce enough food and don't have the infrastructure in place to import food in bulk. Furthermore, even though we produce a majority of our food in the United States, we import many of the pesticides and fertilizers that help us produce these crops from other countries, including the EU or European Union and Russia. Since Ukraine and Russia are currently having a war, it's creating problems for U.S. farmers, especially since fertilizer has become scarce. With this fertilizer crisis right around the corner, U.S. food production is in an uncomfortable position. Fertilizer is vital for all kinds of crops, including food crops. Without it, our food supply would be impacted significantly. The problem is that most of the fertilizer we need is imported from Ukraine and Russia. Russia has been the biggest supplier of fertilizers. Therefore, fertilizer prices are increasing with the ongoing war, resulting in increased prices on most food items. It says the problem of climate change and food production. Climate change has been a significant factor in some recent food shortages, including rice and strawberries. Adapting agricultural practices to better cope with extreme weather events and investing in research for climate-resistant crops can help reduce the risk of future food shortages due to climate-related events. Alternative food sources during shortages, when specific food items become scarce, it's essential to consider alternative sources of nutrients. For example, during the rice shortage, you may want to explore other grains like quinoa, barley, or millet to maintain a balanced diet. Similarly, if strawberries are in short supply, other fruits like blueberries or raspberries can provide similar nutritional benefits until they run out of supply. Reducing dependency on single crops as the global population becomes more dependent on a few staple crops, the risk of food shortages increases. Encouraging crop diversity and supporting small-scale local agricultural Local agriculture can help reduce dependency on single crops and promote a more resilient food system. It says anticipating food items that are likely to face shortages. Wheat and corn shortages. According to the S&P Global, Russia is a major contributor to wheat worldwide, ranked number 1 in exports. Additionally, we found that the Great Plains drought of 2021 had a negative impact on U.S. production and pushed prices up by as much as 40% at the beginning of 2022. Most recently, U.S. wheat production has been impacted by the unprecedented dry weather, reported by Reuters in the U.S. Department of Agriculture. As of October 20th, greater than 80% of the United States faces abnormally dry conditions, raising the risk for the 2023 harvest. Because I've been, looking into that as well. Like, each and every year it gets worse and worse and worse when it comes to the harvest of crops over here in Babylon the Great. It said bread shortages, according to MASH reports. Because of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, it is unlikely that production in Ukraine will improve anytime soon. With the beginning of the harvesting season in July of this year, crop production in Ukraine declined by 35 to 45% compared against last year's numbers. Russia and Ukraine are two of the biggest cereal grains exporters, accounting for about 20% of global cereal grain production. With the conflict in Ukraine, Russia's grain production has been disrupted. Experts speculate that there could be a significant global cereal grain supply shortage as early as 2023. They also predict that this shortage may cause a struggle to obtain the necessary ingredients to make bread, resulting in bread shortages in 2023. It's like the consequences of aluminum shortages impact on canned food and pet food. According to Click Orlando, the great aluminum shortage is still continuing. Crown, labor shortages, the Russo-Ukrainian war, increased demand, and the ongoing supply chain crisis are all to blame. And And we will probably have no end in sight until 2023, when the world hopefully moves back towards normalcy after all these crises, which is not going to happen because it said many great miseries have happened to them. That during the latter time because they have walked in great pride. Right, 2 Kings 8 and 50. So these miseries are not going to be let up. Like Scripture also said, with the plagues draw nigh, and they are not slack. The Lord's not going to let up. He said He's going to punish the world for their iniquity. Right? It says these supply issues have caused prices for aluminum-based products such as canned vegetables, meats, and soda to increase significantly. The essentials: how to prepare for a 2023 food shortage. The 2023 food shortage is upon us. It's time to get prepared. But how much food to store, what to store, and what are the best food storage options? These might be a few questions on your mind. The best way to prepare for this food shortage is by knowing what food to buy before inflation hits and stocking up on the essentials now. Canned foods are a common staple in many preppers' food stocks. These are inexpensive, easy to store, and convenient to use. However, unfortunately, highly acidic items such as tomatoes only have a shelf life of 12 to 18 months. Canned foods that are lower in acidity, such as canned chicken and vegetables, last a little longer but still only last 2 to 5 years. Even rice, an essential part of food storage, only lasts 6 months if unmilled, brown rice. Those that are looking to save time, money, and effort may want to consider buying freeze-dried food or dehydrated emergency food supplies. These foods have a shelf life of 25 years and thus remove the need for restocking every few months or years. That's a lot longer than any fresh produce or canned foods you're likely to buy at the grocery store. We always recommend investing in emergency food supply because it's the easiest way to get into prepping. It takes the least amount of time to build a long-lasting food supply with a 25-year shelf supply. And here we go. You got a 72-hour emergency kit. You're going to need more than just at least 3 days of food for when the times that are coming. So, through all what's going on, we got these wildfires everywhere. We got these, of course, the wars, rumors of wars going on. Pestilences, I know that the Marburg, that's going around heavy. Other ones going around, fungal viruses, stuff like that. You got heat waves coming back to Europe. It's a lot of death and destruction and devastation that's being brought into the earth, right? But when all these things coming on, people tend to forget about the food shortages, And we just gonna, hop into the scriptures because, like I said, this is a part of the prophecies of Yahweh Shai. So this is 2 Ezra chapter 16. I'm gonna start at verse 17. Woe is me! woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? And there's a reason why the Lord, a prophet of Yahweh Shemashai Ezra, is saying, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, because the days that he was shown through the spirit of Yahweh Shemashai were horrendous, were horrible, were terrible, were brute-like, savage-like. As the scriptures say, perilous times shall come. So he's seeing like it's just all doom and gloom that was going on. And it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, right? The beginning of famine, right? Famine, again, right there, is a part of the Lord's prophecies. And great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, right? Because when all these things come to pass, hey, everybody gonna be standing in fear. From the least on down to the least, of their society, everybody gonna be in fear for all the things, all the miseries that Yahweh Shemashai is bringing upon the earth. Ain't nobody gonna have no answers, but the ones who have the answers are the ones who you mock and ridicule and look down upon, right? The prophets, the men of the Lord of Yahweh Shemashai, starting our elder apostles, elder bishops, on the rest of like-minded men on down, those are the ones who you ridicule, but those are the ones through the Spirit of the Lord have the answers and know what's going on, right? It's the beginning of what? Evils. That's what? The beginning of bad times. See, that's what the Lord is bringing, bad times. You're talking about peace and liberty and justice. That's not coming on this side on your behalf to forward this kingdom. No, the peace and the justice is going to come when Yahweh shall crack them clouds and institute righteous justice and rule by making war with these nations and bringing them down and conquering them. Right? And then instituting what righteousness throughout the world. But before that point in time, man, just expect evils upon evils upon evils. As Ezekiel 7:26 say, what? Mischief shall be upon mischief. Right? Verse 19, it say, what shall I do when these evils shall come? And the Lord willing we be of the elect. We don't know, but Lord willing we be. The Spirit be upon us to be of the elect. But to speak as far as those who don't have Yahweh Shemashai, because the elect gonna have Yahweh Shemashai. Those who don't, man, what you gonna do when them evil come? Man, you ain't gonna do nothing. You gonna be caught up. You gonna be left out to dry. You gonna be taken by those evils that's to come. But the elect gonna believe and hope and pray, have faith in Yahweh Shemashai to be delivered from the said perils. Verse 19, behold, famine again, and plague and tribulation and anguish. These things are sent as scourges for. Remember, these are sent as punishments for your wickedness. Like this, Lord, as a matter of fact, the previous chapter, 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 5 say, behold, saith Yahweh Shemashai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine again, death and destruction. This is what the Lord is sending to the world. Why? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. Who is the earth getting the hand to? The wicked. So what vibration, what laws, what mannerisms, what philosophies is going to be produced within the world if the wicked is in power? All like I said again, all mannerisms of wickedness, profaneness, things that defile you, right? So the Lord is going to punish the world for that, for living off the vibration of the wicked. Esau, Edom, right? Verse 20, 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness. So when you 2/3, y'all gonna see all this madness, because the heathens, y'all can't turn from it. Y'all wasn't given the law, statutes, commandments. Y'all through. Just to be honest, whatever you listen and get mad, don't give a damn. But but for 2/3 of people, man, they ain't gonna see all this stuff going on, and they're gonna be affected for a little bit, but they're not gonna be mindful of it, right? Like we say, nor be mindful of the scourges, right? Meaning what they say, what they not gonna turn for their wickedness. They gonna damn, we just went through hell. This just happened, this and that. But they go what? They gonna turn back into their wickedness. Right? They're not going to be mindful of it. They're not going to take heed to it. They're not going to hearken to the warnings that your Lord is bringing for them to come back. They're going to continue living wickedly. Right? So when all this evil and stuff and all this bad stuff come to pass, hey, 2/3, they still going to continue in their wickedness. Right? It say, behold, victuals or food shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they should think themselves to be in a good case. And hey, but as we speak about like these restaurants in certain places, you can get something quick to grab to eat. Hey, even the prices of them are rising as well. So it's gonna come a point in time where the victuals are not gonna be so good cheap upon earth. It's like the article is speaking about what? Inflation, higher prices, things are getting higher. Right? At the point in time, I think it said something like somewhere it was like a dozen of eggs like $80 somewhere. So the eventually it's not going to be so good upon earth, but they see that it's still relatively cheap. I get this paycheck, I can buy this, I got to pay for that. They think themselves to still be in a good case. Well, I know they rising, but as long as I get to keep working, I can still pay for it. The numbers are going to be on astronomical levels to where it's going to be like it's going to take a day's wages, to buy such things. Ultimately going to like, Revelation 6 speaks about that, with the black horse. But it says, it's like, yeah, go. It says, even then shall evils grow upon earth, sore famine again, and great confusion. We don't read the term famine, a great number amount of times just in this little period of time. Of just reading these two chapters, points of these two chapters. So famine is a part of the Lord's prophecy. It's a part of his chastisement. So it's a part of his punishments for correction. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine. So a lot of people that dwell upon earth is going to die from starvation, lack of bread, food insecurity, right? Supply chain disruptions, they going to die from that. Lack of water, whatever the case may be. And the other that escape the hunger. So if you escape the hunger, shall the sword destroy. So it's a judgment set for you if you allotted that judgment. You may go, I survived. I only ate, I only survived off a potato a week, but there's still a judgment still laid up for you. So you're not going to escape, right? This is and I'm gonna end it off right here, because this is what's gonna come to pass when the foods is just at a dire end. This is what's people gonna turn to, or if they can't even get a hold of it. This is Lamentations chapter 4 verse 9. It say, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. I'm gonna read that again. They that be slain with the sword are better. So it's better for you to die by the sword, to be shot in the head, get your head cut off, die in a violent manner, or whatever, if you will. That you better to die that way, are then what it say, are better than they that be slain with hunger, for you to starve to death. Better for you to go out in a violent way than to starve to death. They say, for these pine away, right, stricken through from the wants of the fruits of the field. They deteriorate from within or out. Your organs start eating each other. The acid start, coming up your throat, burning your throat. Like it's just all bad. It feeds on the fat, then the muscles. And people think, well, oh, your muscles, your organs. No, the organs are considered muscles as well. Your tissues, your body just eats itself on the inside out. A horrible, horrible death when you go look into it. Right? It say, the hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. And the term sodden goes into, boiling. Like they cook their own children. I mean, is it going to upload for us? What's that, Bashar? And it says, to boil up, hence to be done in cooking, bake, boil, bring forth roast, seed, man, go fry that nigga. That's what they gonna say, man, go fry that nigga, we hungry, and it's gonna start from the youngest, the weakest child to, whatever the case may be. But that's what the spirit that the Lord gonna put on people, and that's how scarce the food gonna be at the point in time where they gonna turn to eating each other. Right? The hands of the pitiful woman have sown their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. And this happened in time past, and the Lord gonna bring it back again. So hey, they're telling you that how to prepare, man, you can do whatever you can, but the Lord can have whatever you prepare for yourself to be delivered up to somebody else. Like it speaks about people coming in like madman, spoiling your goods, this and that. But we would believe to the spirit that a lot of the goods people store, man, the Lord gonna lay them up to the elect. Speaking as a man, and Lord will be of that number to be preserved in that day. But that's ultimately all I got on that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to sincere Akim, or the sincere brothers and sisters who are out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, the honor to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well, and peace and blessings to the whole for that pushes great gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha'Allah, Abide, Babal.